It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Get in the building.
Yo, good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. I've written my letter.
So yeah, that letter.
I'll take it today.
Nice.
To
where exactly?
I think it's for local government.
Okay.
I think that's...
Local state.
So I'm going to go there and hopefully...
Hopefully they will listen to you.
And they will do the roads.
Will do the...
But I have another... I'm jealous. Tokwe has lost so much weight.
Yes.
Why are you eyeing me?
We want to be like you where we grow.
Tokwe is intentional about her weight loss, which is good. So...
I saw her today. I was like, hey!
Vanity-inspired weight loss.
Yeah, you have to go back to the drawing board.
You're fine, Jerry. What are you talking about? See your shoes.
Is it shoe that?
Everybody...
Is it shoe the weight?
I beg, you have something to be excited about, please. You'll be all right. You look great, YK.
I feel like your weight is fine.
How you doing, Mariam? Let me come to Mariam. Since YK has no gist for us.
Yes.
Oh, yes. On Saturday, this tall Giannis Adetokumbo came to the shrine. Yeah.
Oh, the basketballer.
Yeah.
Everybody comes to your shrine.
Yeah.
Like this, they'll just go
First up is...
They go to Africa shrine.
It's good. It's good. That's
it was really nice. Very, very polite. Came with his mom. Very, very polite.
I watched the movie about him. Telling a story. A Nigerian went to Greece, the hustle of the parents and how he did.
Okay, let me come to Mariam. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing fine. I saw news today on social media that made me laugh. They said there was this international sprinting competition that happened recently, and Somalia sent an athlete who was not a runner. When the gunshot went off, the runners went off. The Somali was just jogging on the track. They said that it's because they found out that that person is the niece to like the head of that sporting event in Somalia. It was such a disgrace, and they said they have taken nepotism to another level.
As in Africans, we know how to do.
It was obvious she was not a runner. They said the first person that she completed her own race like in 2 times the time it took the first person to finish that race. I don't understand what happened. I see it was just so obvious. I don't know where this happened. I will get more details, but I just thought it was so funny.
We're lucky she didn't even run backwards.
No. You make that so strong.
I'm good. So I'm wearing my birthday gift. The top was from Stachinwe and the trouser from Mariam. I love it. Can you see how Mariam-ish I'm going to show them on Instagram the full look. But there's something, a quote I read, that I feel I'll just share. He said, if you don't make time for your health, you would make time for your illness. So many of us are like I've been in that space that I'm so busy, I don't have time to rest. But guess what? If you fall sick, the time that you feel you don't have, you will find it. So let's just remind ourselves as we're all working extremely hard to make time for our health. Mariah, what's going on?
I'm good. I'm one of those people I bought land, and I'm finally going to go and see the land today. I bought it for quite a few years ago.
2 years, 2021.
So I'm never going to go and see. Why are you going to go and see your land? See? That's the problem. I've learned now that I need to see from Tokwe's event. I learned that you must see and you must fence. I learned that you must take ownership. So
I think I will go.
And I need to go fence it so that I can take ownership, right? I learned that.
Because I'm hoping to try this weekend to go for that thing that you people bought for us.
Oh, finally.
Happiness Center, Murayo.
We're not gone.
I've not gone. I want to try and go.
Your own has expired.
No, my own has not expired though. My own is 3 months, so.
I
asked them.
I have to go too.
We have to go. Anyway, let's go on a break now. When we come out, it's Thursday, our Gistin Day. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Labour talks with Tinubu on cost of living fruitful. NMA declares indefinite strike in Lagos over doctor's death. Ministers Oyetola, Bagudu, Matawale, 16 others on supplementary list. $150 million spent on fuel importation monthly, says CBN. How government can win corruption cases by Fagbemi. ECOWAS gears up for military action in Niger. APC NEC to decide fate of NWC members today. Okay, which sport are we starting with?
NLC.
Major headline, yeah.
Yes, so they said Labour leaders met with the president at his office in Aso Villa yesterday. It's been described as fruitful. That's the conversation that they have. It's been described as fruitful. And he said it might terminate the plan to continue the nationwide protest. They had, of course, some of us, we saw it on TV in Abuja, places like here in Lagos, in Rivers State as well, where we had NLC, TUC, some workers, CSOs, you know, all had come out to protest some of the government policies and the fact that Nigerians were being affected by these policies. So at the meeting, they said the Labour leaders revealed that they are meeting with the president and they would await the implementation of the agreement they've had with the president. One of the things they discussed, and they're going to wait for its implementation, is committed to an immediate restructuring of the framework for engagement in line with the input of Labour leaders. Then the promise that the Port Harcourt refinery will commence production by the end of this year, December this year. They also said that they've been assured that an agreement will be reached on the wage award for Nigerian workers immediately. There's promise to unveil a workable roadmap to the CNG alternative next week. The presidential advisor, Itedo Eledumare, also, made a statement in agreement with what I had just read. So they would wait to see how these conversations, the implementation of these conversations, before we know what the next step will be. Okay,
let me talk about Mr. Lateef Fagbemi SA, and he is the lawyer that was being screened yesterday. He was one of the ministerial nominees by the president. And while during his screening, he was asked about the issue of corruption cases, why it take so long, and that. And he said that if he had his way, he will unbundle the EFCC and the ICPC. According to him, investigations should be conducted and concluded comprehensively and thoroughly before arrests are made. And what we find in Nigeria is that we first of all arrest and then start investigation. That doesn't make any sense, because when you do that, you're just detaining people illegally for a long time. And he was also saying that the rivalry between agencies should also stop, where the DSS is fighting with EFCC, that these are things that must be done separately, and that an investigation, prosecution should also be done by separate organizations. That just like an FBI, the person who arrests you, that when for an FBI to come and arrest you, you know that they have finished their investigation. They have so much data on you that then a different group prosecutes you. But we shouldn't have everybody, EFCC, arresting, investigating and prosecuting. That doesn't make any sense. He will unbundle all that activity if he's Attorney General of the Federation. He said they actually grilled him a lot, and I was really impressed that he was really ready, and he was very articulate in what he would do if he had the opportunity. They asked him questions concerning the disobedience of
the law, court
orders. They asked him about that. He was able to respond the best he could, and it was really an interesting session with him. I
like the fact that I like the idea of collapsing EFCC and ICPC, because he suggested that he was going to do that so that they will now have investigation and prosecution, and they don't need to have the two.
Does he know that is his portfolio?
He would advise, because for him, he wants us to deal with corruption, and that's we don't know what his portfolio will be.
I wanted to take the $150 million spent monthly on petrol importation. That's according to the principal manager of the central bank, Osaje Clement. He said this at the ad hoc at the House of Representatives ad hoc committee They were investigating the petrol hike. He said that the CBN has no control over the motor spirits or the dollar. And he's urging the federal government to discourage importation and start to refine ourselves. He said that will reduce the current challenges in the economy, and the demand for dollars would be much less anyway. And he said that
still on their journey.
Huh?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
According to the Petroleum Industry Act, it empowers regulators to intervene to avoid cartel building, which is why the agency introduced competition to also deal with the illegal profiteering.
Okay,
So, yes, ECOWAS, the ECOWAS, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, yesterday said that they had an extraordinary meeting with all the Chief of Defense Staff of all the ECOWAS states, and in Abuja yesterday. We saw pictures online. They are going to be moving into Niger because we remember that on the 26th of July, there was a coup that took place in Niger, and it might compromise the security of ECOWAS. So they are taking a move. They say they must face the challenge of restoring democracy within Niger, and they are...
Well, do you think that's a good idea?
Many people have said different. Quite a number of people have objected to it. I said they should tread carefully.
I think we have a lot of things in our hands.
Issues because
our soldiers that are protecting us from all the insurgency in Nigeria, you want to move them to... Because according to what I heard on the radio, Nigeria is 70% of the ECOWAS. We contribute 70% to ECOWAS and the military and money too. So all
the money that
we don't have, we want to now send it to...
But we are the
let's
big
move on.
brother of ECOWAS.
Yes.
We need to show that.
The Punch.
Big brother is hungry.
Banks, offices shut amid rallies. Labour demands 200,000 naira wage. PDP inaugurates campaign council for Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi polls. Lagos probes doctor's death in hospital elevator. Colleagues shun work. Community protests, demolition, seek Sanwo-Olu's intervention. Ondo oil producing area indigenes protest unpaid bursary. FG delist 18 illegal loan apps. Oyetola, Lalong, Bagudu, 16 others make second ministerial list. Okay, which story we have in...
I will take the... Lagos has said they will probe the death of the doctor in the elevator. According to the Punch, she was going down for food. The dispatch rider had come for food, so she was taking the lift down to go and collect her food when the lift collapsed and fell from the 10th floor, was it 9th, to the ground floor shaft. And it just caused a protest. The doctors started to protest because they said they have been complaining. Sorry, this was at the General Hospital on Lagos Island. They said that they have been complaining that it's for the past 5 years that they have been complaining that every time they enter the lift, they will complain, they will write letters, that nobody took any responsibility or answered them. That when they enter the lift, they have to close the lift
by themselves
with their hands.
And then pray.
Then at the 6th floor, it will stop.
Then they get down.
Or some of them will get down, some of them will close it again and be praying, and they will be praying.
Oh, no.
And one of the, someone wrote on her Twitter handle, I am particularly aggrieved because we have complained for a long time about this elevator. We have maneuvered, managed, and prayed each time we had to use it. Empty promises will be made to fix it till it killed one of us. The Lagos State has said that they will investigate.
We're going to talk about it a bit later, but it was good that you just touched on it a bit. When we come back, go through the other papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Staying with us, we're still reviewing Punch, and there's a story about the demolition in Lagos. So residents of the Oworonshoki area of Lagos State have protested the ongoing demolition of houses by the Lagos State Task Force. Many residents said they're losing their belongings and their homes. Punch had reports yesterday saying that many had to carry placards where protesters were seen carrying placards with inscriptions saying, "Say no to land grabbers and wrong demolition. Please help us, Mr. Governor. We plead to the government to our rescue." Some are saying they lost houses were demolished. Somebody says they had 4 buildings there that were demolished. All 4 were broken down. Now I don't know where to go. Sanwo-Olu should please help us out. However, the Chief Press Secretary, Akure, said that the government was only removing shanties criminal hideouts in the area. He said the state government did not demolish the homes of the people. What the state government did was demolish shanties. When some of these people commit crimes, they run into small places for shelter. These were the structures that were demolished. The duty of the government is to ensure that we keep the people and the environment safe. The government would not just destroy people's homes like that. So now to define what is a home, because somebody said this is my house. You're saying it's a shanty for hideout. So I guess it all goes back to communication between the people and the.
Lagos State does not recognize wooden. That's not that you can't call that a home, even though we know people live there. It's for them to now organize and get in touch with.
Where I will come in and say, I think that government should now take. They should now go and start building houses for these people. These are
you can't build
low-cost housing. Low-cost
housing. That's what it means.
You can actually do it in a way that you will make your money back. These people are...
topic for another day. You have to move on to...
Ondo oil producing area, indigents are protesting unpaid bursaries. They say some students who are indigents of Ilaje and Esho Odo local government area of Ondo on Wednesday embarked on a protest. They took their protest all the way to the Accountant General's office in Akure and they barricaded the road. They said that there's a 40% derivation fund that accrues to the oil-producing area, and they have a body called Osopadek, that is the Ondo State Oil-Producing Area Development Commission. But they said that government had not been remitting these funds to that commission, and as a result, they are not getting the development that they need in that area. Many of them said that their communities has been submerged by ocean surges, taking away the livelihood of their parents. They can't afford to just live a decent life. And so they are insisting that all that is accrued to this commission be sent to them, and so that the monies can be used in these communities.
I'm taking a story that they said 5.6% of the total oil comes from there.
Okay.
I want to take the story of, quickly, Punch. Federal government has delisted 18 illegal loan apps. Some of those loans are most of them are on Google Play Store, and they said they've already reached out to Google to delete them. They listed names of some of them. They said that they have 5 days to produce information that they are complying with the guidelines. This came through the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Eureka also mentioned that some people are not on Google Play. They are bypassing Google Play Store to operate by APK file formats and other means. They use this means to get in touch with customers and also harass customers when they have issues with payments and sending defamatory messages to their contact list. And these are the reasons many of them have now been... There's a regulation. They put their names: Get Loan, Joy Cash, Cash Loan, Naira Loan, Eagle Cash, Lucky Loan, Personal Loan, Cashme, Easy Naira. There are many funny names. I know a lot of Nigerians feel like we need quick money, but these are not the ways to access it because they are getting a lot of data that it's an illegal structure.
Daily Sun. Mass protest rock Nigeria. FG commits to fix refinery by December. Lagos NMA declares indefinite strike in 3 hospitals over colleague's death. Ministerial nomination. Oyetola Matawale, Bagudu, Lalong, others make Tinubu's second list. Serena Maseman, arrested with 9.9 kg cocaine concealed in condoms, gets 13 years in jail. Man dies protecting son from collapsed building in Akure. And farmers urge FG to collaborate with stakeholders on food security plan. Okay, which story?
NDLEA has arrested a 34-year-old South American man from Suriname. His name is Lorenzo Harvey Albert. He was arrested at the Port Harcourt International Airport. He had brought in 117 parcels of cocaine, which he concealed in extra-large latex condoms. They were factory packed inside bottles of 100 ml body spray. So he has been convicted and sentenced to 13 years in prison. He claims that he had left his country through Brazil, and then from Brazil he got to Nigeria in search of his long-lost Nigerian father, who he called Omini, but, well, upon further investigation, he just realized he's also a drug dealer and he's been locked up for 13 years. And of course, as usual, there's so many other arrests that have been made by NDLEA. So, well done again.
So I'm taking the All Farmers Association of Nigeria. The Lagos State Chairman, his name is Dr. Femi Oke, was speaking concerning the presidential speech and about the the interventions that the President mentioned, that it sounds good to them, but he addressed something I mentioned, which is mechanization. He said that the area that the President's speech did not in any way address, which is very crucial, is mechanization, that agriculture has moved beyond hoes and cutlass, yes, that we need to boost food production, we need to implement modern farm practices. He also mentioned that the government did not, he's worried about the mode of implementation of this process because there's a Ministry of Agriculture, there's an Association of Farmers Association of Nigeria, all Farmers Association of Nigeria, and that he should collaborate with the stakeholders when discussing how to implement it, that it's good to have fertilizer and these funds released, but we must be sure that it is going to the right people, and the technology is used to track the implementation of this idea that the President wants to use to reduce cost of food in Nigeria.
Okay, there's a human interest story there. So a man, Mr. Titus Adega, lost his life yesterday in Akure while trying to save his son from a collapsed building. According to witness Mrs. Elizabeth Columbus, who was also a neighbor, this happened in Akure North local government on the Itedo Eledumare Street. According to the story, Mr. Adega and his 5-year-old son, Kizito, were under the rubble. The building had collapsed on both of them, but the man tried to jump over his son to protect him from the impact of the collapsed wall. So the impact was on the man and not the child. So the child was crying. So they found out because the child's crying out really, really loudly. The mother ran in, heard the cry of my son from a deep sleep, and I rushed out to discover him under the rubble of the collapsed building. I tried to remove him, so the father was obviously trying to protect the son. Yeah. So the rubble landed on the father, not the son. So they now got the man, but the man unfortunately died. And the son was saved.
Ultimate sacrifice.
The son had a fracture, yeah. The son, I think he will be forever grateful. Very sad story.
Really very painful. The boy had a fracture, Waki. I didn't get that part.
She said she would bury the man after the son comes out of hospital.
Really, really sad. Okay, moving on now to the Vanguard. Labour protest hardship as Tinubu wades in. Coup, Nigeria cuts power supply to Niger Republic. NMA declares strike in 3 Lagos hospitals over colleague's death. Ministerial nominees, ex-5 governors, 14 others make Tinubu's second list. Economic hardship, workers withdraw 3 billion naira from pension savings. How infrastructure decay hampers judicial system. Gridlock Trinity Kirikiri police abandon duty post. Guba polls will win Kogi Imo Bayelsa PDP boasts. Okay, which story are we taking?
Let's talk about the Trinity and Kirikiri police station. Vanguard is actually, their office is within that area. So they did their investigation, found that, and they printed that as at yesterday, 5 p.m., they could confirm that policemen that were meant to be at the Trinity Kirikiri police station have abandoned their duty post to come on the streets and are extorting money. They said it's not just the policemen alone. According to Vanguard report that I'm reading, even some military personnel were also involved in the extortion drive. They mentioned trucks were meant to pay 5,000 to 10,000 naira, and because they had paid that money, they were disobeying every law. They took over the entire express and service lane, overtaking one another to get into Apapa. Of course, truck drivers that spoke up said they were tired of the extortion, that some of them were hoping the military officers were going to be able to reduce the challenge, but it hasn't gotten better. Some of them said they spent as much as 25,000 naira from the ports to Second Rainbow, settling different people from Agberos to military. But if the military men escort them, they pay less money because the military is with them.
If the military men
escort them.
If they don't, they pay 25,000. The Agberos, they are 15 stops, before they reach their destination, and they will pay like
settling every one of them.
So settle it, Agbero and the other ones, 70-30. The paymasters get 70%, the agberos get 30%. It's terrible. I mean,
it's just painful.
Our country, what is the
levels of corruption
the problem?
Yeah, it's difficult. That's why this.
How?
So legitimate business
called something. I don't know which something.
Which something that we're going to do. We'll do
have
something.
To wrap up, but I think we should mention the fact that the president has sent extra 19 names. We weren't expecting 19. I mean, we're expecting about 10 or 11 or so. So, and that's like, I mean, some have said it's like the largest number. So the entire, we're going to be 47. That's a lot. That's like huge compared to what our expectations are. So
we're thinking they were going to collapse the
cost of governance. Is
So the fact is going to be almost 40 because there are 20 from his own kitchen cabinets, like 20 lists, right? 20 plus 47, that's 67. That's a lot. So we'll see how that's going to the new ministries that might be created, collapse,
Matawale.
And Matawale, our friend, controversial governor, the former governor, he made the list.
Not our friend.
And when I say my friend,
I get what you mean.
The person that we really, really criticized him because he was quite trendy for a while. But he made the list.
People were praying to God for help.
Yeah.
He was
Anyway, we have to go. That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we'll discuss this scenario that happened in Lagos, the young lady that died because of negligence. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.